Welcome into the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. Jam-packed show for you as we finish up, week 11 in college football. I welcome in fresh from Nashville. He's still got that Nashville stank on him. He is Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
Not too much. I actually went and took a shower a little bit ago and washed the stink right off, so there's no more of that. I'm fresh, clean, and ready to rock it and roll it.
All right, so let's get it out of the way first, Jackpot. How was the atmosphere down at Vanderbilt? Is it better than it was the last time you were there?
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely was better. Now, last time I went, I didn't sit with most of the Gamecock fans. I sat in another section, and there was just a few sprinkled throughout. But the whole one side of the stadium was pretty much, 2/3 of it was Gamecock fans, I'd say. But the crowd was more skewed towards Vanderbilt this time. It was probably 65% Vanderbilt fans there, I'd say. 35% Gamecocks. Well, the last time it was like 50-50. Or hell, we might have outnumbered them. So,
well, I guess we can start with that game, Jackpot.
It's really they're trying to do some work there on it, and I made a comment on this that I believe it's polishing a turd. It really is. I mean, it's lipstick on a pig, polishing a turd, whatever. You can do whatever you want to do to your end zones or whatever, but until you renovate those main bleachers on both sides, it's still going to be a dump. It's very hard to get out of from the stands to get outside. It should be right, boom, boom. But if it's crowded, there's only like one exit for each side that everybody has to funnel into to get out. So that was kind of shitty. But once again, that might have a little bit to do. There's a lot of construction going on there. We walked on their baseball field to get to where I parked. I actually walked on the warning track all the way around. I've never done that before. And it's AstroTurf. I didn't know that we had any teams. I haven't ever seen a college baseball field that was AstroTurf before, but that was.
Yeah, Mizzou's got AstroTurf because of the weather, but
that's not shocking.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the SEC, that's the only one that I know has the AstroTurf is Mizzou, and I guess you're saying that Vanderbilt does. Kind of shocking, national championship level program.
Yeah, and it's a really small stadium, dude. I thought it was a softball stadium, and somebody we were walking over there beside is like, I don't think the softball stadium is going to be 375 in left field. I'm not fucking smart ass, smart guy. It looks like a goddamn softball field to me. It was small, from where I was at to home plate didn't look like 375. So.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right. Well, what'd you think about the game?
I was
either way. South Carolina, if they had,
I thought it kind of went. It really went about like I expected. I did say on here that I thought, and I picked Vandy to cover the spread just in case, but part of me knew that we could blow them out, and they did. They leaned on that defense. Played really, really good. I'm very proud of those guys. They brought effort. Solid 3 games in a row now, 4 games in a row, really. And in our past, we would have backslid coming into here and would have had a letdown and a shitty performance. But they just keep on impressing. Really, really good to see.
Do you want to handle the picture you sent me to show everybody? You want to do that now, or you want to do it later?
Oh, sure. Why not?
All right. So Jackpot sent me this picture. I'll let you explain it, Jackpot. Because,
I always like dealing with clowns in the comment section. Sometimes they actually get their own little special segment here. Now, this one, Cheryl Davis, 6361, over on a video I did earlier in the week. Now, this particular individual, I don't even know if this is a guy or a girl. Who knows? It's YouTube. You can be whatever. or using a different account, but they've left comments before and on a live stream. I remember it was this year. I think it may have been last year, but they said something dumb, and I let them have it, and we got a lot of laughter from that one. But anyway, we'll just say she for the sake of argument. 3 top 10 wins. He is already closing in on Spurrier, man. So that lets me think this is a kid. Get off your high horse. He dealt with injuries. See, this person can't even fucking type correctly and shit last year. He is that guy. 3 top 10s wins. Okay. All right. First of all, he has 3 top 10s wins. What, in a span of what are we talking? 4 years?
Right.
Is that because like that's all I can think of? Am I right in saying that?
And then I guess she's talking about Beamer, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess it's 3 top 10 wins.
Yeah, because the 2 in 2022, and then I guess the one last Saturday. I mean, are we ready to anoint this dude the second coming? Is that what I'm supposed to be doing right now? And getting down on my hands and knees and sucking his ding-a-ling and telling everybody he's the best thing it ever was and best coach since, Newt Rockney and Steve Spurrier and anybody else who ever wore a damn Gamecock uniform. He's better than that and better than Bear Bryant. I mean, what am I supposed to tell you? I mean, he's doing a good job this year. He's doing better than I expected him to do. The team is outperforming expectations in my mind. They're doing really good. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's the best of all time. I mean, just not going to do it.
Right. Well, there are Gamecock fans that want to anoint him as, oh my God, he's the best thing ever. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
See, now he's doing a heck of a lot better with a lot less than he did in 2022. But this is potentially the kind of situation where you end up getting yourself wrapped up in another long contract extension. This is the kind of stuff they do.
Well, his record,
if he wins the rest of his regular season games, then I'll change my tune. But we've got more work left to do. Nobody seems to realize. They think we got more work left to do. Do I think Mizzou fucking sucks? Yes, I think they fucking suck. Do I think we're going to beat their ass? I absolutely do. But I also can keep it in perspective and know that they're still dangerous. They've still got athletes. And if their quarterback is able to go Saturday, it could be an issue. It could be an issue.
We'll look ahead to that in a moment. I've got my own issues with Beamer. I've got a couple of clips I want to play here from his press conference yesterday, but he said some dumb things. This is the first one.
Oh Lord, here we go.
I can't even with this dude. Here's what he said.
Here we go with this.
Big Spurs not here. I think it's ridiculous that this is the only place apparently in the SEC that doesn't allow live mascots in the stadium, and that's what makes this league special. Is the fact that LSU can have a freaking tiger at their stadium tonight, but we can't bring Sir Big Spurs.
So
okay, all right. I went back and listened to that. Now you got 2 parts to this. I know. Now the second part I'm going to take issue with. This part, though, look, okay, I don't. This is just bitching to just bitch. It really. I mean, first off, Sir Big Spur has. I mean, how long has that been our live mascot? What you say? What maybe like for maybe 3-4 years, something like that.
You guys bring a walking fucking chicken nugget into the day.
Okay, but you're not answering my question. I mean, how long have we been doing that?
I can Google it.
It's not been very long. It's not been very long. Right. So, I mean, Georgia's had Uga, I mean, the dog they've been like 10 of them. Okay, Tennessee's had the smoky dog for years and years. They can't bring it there either. I mean, this is just something we just recently started doing. I really doubt that you're getting a whole lot of inspiration from a live chicken. That sounds silly. It really does. I
trying to figure out, like,
I don't know, man. I can't defend that. I can't defend that. I mean, we want. I can't defend it. I can't. I can't.
I don't get it. Let's see here. It says it started, and this is from the Gamecock website. Sir Big Spur made his debut for the Garnet and Black in 1999, the first at home football games. In 2006, he made his first appearance at Williams-Brice. So 2006, he made his first game there. Yeah, according to the Gamecock.
So what did he do from 99 to 2006? If
he made, it says Sir Big Spur made his debut for the Garnet and Black in 1999, first at home football games. In 2006, he made his first football appearance at Williams-Brice. Today, you can see Sir Big Spur on the sidelines at all home football games and most away football games, as well as some home baseball games. So he makes appearances, etc. Yeah, there's that. This is like within the first 90 seconds of his press conference. Let's talk about the fucking chicken and why we couldn't bring the chicken into the goddamn stadium. I mean, you just won a game against a ranked opponent, but let's talk about, the school says we can't bring our live fucking chicken in here, and that's bad, and you should do better as a school. He has absolutely no Southern values. You don't go when you're a guest at somebody's house and they feed you bad peas and then you bitch about it. He is a fucking goon. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Then he says this, and this is much worse. And I know Jackpot takes issue with this, but bear with me for the 46 seconds here, all right? He's setting up where he's talking to the one of the beat writers for the state newspaper that covers the game.
Will's got a good point. He says, if you show up with the chicken, what are they going to say? Don't leave it in your car.
Yeah, leave it in your car.
That's them.
Anyway, so you get this guy who is it's just Jaden, don't do that, son. He is.
What are you doing?
He is a guy that writes for the state newspaper, goes to, he's on the beat. He goes to every game, goes to every road game, whatever. Okay, that's his job. And apparently Beamer is upset from something that was written last year by another writer at the state newspaper, Matt Connolly, who ended up writing stuff for Clemson, but covered the Gamecocks too, because that was part of his job. And Beamer said this.
And I think back to, last year, and this is not a shot at you, Jordan. I like you a lot, but your paper sometimes is a doozy. And last year when we played Vanderbilt, y'all wrote one of the most ridiculous articles I've ever read in the history of journalism, where you had the Clemson beat writer write an article about how far South Carolina's program had fallen in 2023 because we weren't favored by more against Vanderbilt. That might have been one of the most embarrassing pieces of journalism I've ever read, to say this team has fallen as a program in 2023 because they're not favored by more against Vanderbilt. That in 2022, they were favored by this much against Vanderbilt, but in 2023, they're not. So all of a sudden they've fallen as a program. I mean, that's just some Bush League stuff right there by that guy. Nothing against you.
Yeah, so let's just dress down the young reporter there. Hey, I don't have a problem with you, but here's where your organization sucks. So,
I mean, he's not wrong.
Their heart and soul out on the field here. I should be talking about them and the good things they've done, but let's just talk about. He's not wrong though. I mean, in 2022, I don't think South Carolina was favored by much more than a touchdown against Vanderbilt then either. So how can you say how far you've fallen in 2023? Because I know South Carolina was favored by at least just a couple of touchdowns against them. I'm with Billy. This was at his post-game presser. Yes, sir. This is what he said. Now I know Gamecock fans have to defend.
All Billy did was ask a question.
No, but Billy's feeling the same way that I am.
No, he's not. He just said this was at his post-game presser. He's asking a question for context.
Maybe I understand maybe I felt that he would feel the same way that I felt about it.
The bottom line is, I mean, that newspaper is based out of Columbia. It should kind of lean Gamecock. I mean, that's just.
Cale, they have a section of their website is gogamecocks.com. What the hell else do you want them to do?
What do they put on it?
They have to go down there and suck the rooster off every game?
I don't know. Here's my thing. Why is everybody getting so fucking mad? Why is he even getting pissy about it? And why is it a deal anyway? I mean, nobody reads a fucking newspaper anymore. Apparently he did, though, that day. Pissed him off.
My wife's over here with commentary.
He's in a zone. Like he feels like his team was disrespected the poll last week. And I kind of get and I kind of don't because I mean we have lost 3 games. I mean, think what you want to about the LSU game. Fact of the matter is, record's 5-3, so that's going to weigh in on that. But so he's feeling disrespected, and now he's like, I don't know, he's doubling down on it by like digging shit up. That I mean, he that probably didn't need to be said, but not for the reasons that you're saying. My whole thing about it is, I don't think anybody reads the damn paper anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
Well, he obviously does.
I mean, to me, if one of these journalists came out and tweeted something, I mean that's more worthy of attention than any more than
you're going to have newspaper article over here who think that South Carolina is going to win at Clemson, which is not going to happen. But let's ask Gamecock Chuck his comment. I thought it was odd that he would bring up something that old instead of focusing on the win and being bowl eligible. Why not focus on what you've done that's well instead of something that from a long time ago where your feelings got hurt?
Yeah, my thing, he's done really good in the press conferences this year. He has. He's done good up until this point, up until today. And it's weird because it's after a win. Up until today, he's done good. We haven't cried. We haven't talked about finding joy. We haven't, we haven't dealt with any of the silliness this year. Then yesterday, we kind of had our fill of it, didn't we? We overloaded our basket. Went on a shopping spree of dumb.
Brock says it feels like we're reaching right now, complaining about the train crew saying to find more joy and breaking a foot in anger. We're far more embarrassing than what he said last night. Okay. And hey, we value everybody's opinion here.
Will says if Beamer uses disrespect to fire up the team, yeah, that's true. And I agree with that. And then using the disrespect with the polls and stuff, I get it. That's
I didn't have
that is good for motivation, but yeah. Doubling down on the disrespect and then digging up everything else that we've been disrespected on the last 20 fucking years is that's not healthy.
I don't have a problem with him saying we beat this ranked team, we beat that ranked team, and even where he said don't rank us. Some people were upset about that. That doesn't bother me. He's using that to force feed his team. That's fine. The fucking chicken. Let's get mad about the chicken. 90 seconds into the press conference, why couldn't we bring our chicken here? Oh.
Okay, I'm going to address something over here. Billy Cole wants to talk about his young son, Scott. So I met his son yesterday at that football game.
How'd that go?
I'm going to tell you, first of all, he's a lot smarter than Billy. He potentially may be better looking too. But
are you implying that there was a stork swap somewhere, jackpot?
Could have been. But here's my thing as a staunch Tennessee fan. I want to know, we're going to call him out on this. How on earth did he let his son be birthed at the hospital on the campus of the University of Florida? That's right. Old Scott's a Florida baby. He's a Gator. He is a Gator.
Mm-hmm.
So explain that one to us.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome that you met him, and that was cool. Did you meet Rob as an SEC boss? You met him before, but you guys hook up, hang out? What'd y'all do?
No, he was sitting actually on the other side of the stadium. So, and he fucked up and ding-a-ling left his phone in his car or code or something. I don't know. But yeah, he was there. He I don't know. Did he send you the little video today?
No, I didn't get anything
from the dump. Yeah, he was at a particular dump. I'm gonna try to send that to you. Maybe you can play this. Maybe you can play this at some point here later on. It's not very long. But anyway, Well, what else we got going on?
Anyway, we had that going on there, and anyway, there was some fireworks this weekend. Clemson, by the way, wins their game over Virginia Tech. They looked like shit in the first half, played well in the second half.
Handle business. Cade Klubnik showed some mobility there on one of those touchdown passes.
But he threw another pick because he can't.
Oh, did he?
He doesn't throw a pick. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I hate coming to one of these podcasts unprepared, and that's the one thing I hate about going to games is I don't get to really watch any games. So I didn't watch not nary a minute of that one, except for some highlights, like as obviously I saw that play, and then Georgia and Ole Miss. I watched nothing but highlights of that either.
So I'm gonna try to play this video from Rob has an SEC bias in a moment, but anyway, Clemson wins. There were some craziness yesterday. I talked about
good evening, Parker.
Georgia really quick here. Georgia goes out and gets hammered by Ole Miss. I know you didn't watch the game, but another depressing day there for Carson Beck. I think he's thrown 12 interceptions in 6 games.
How many did he throw yesterday? 2 or 1?
I gotta look. I can't remember the total, but I think he threw 2 yesterday. There's a Georgia fan in there. I'm sure they'll help me with all that. But he didn't look good yesterday, and Georgia didn't look good either, man.
Here's why. Why do they not bench him and try something different? This is really doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, for such a for a championship level program that we don't have the confidence in someone else to come in and lead the offense. That's just nuts to me.
Well, look at this. Let's see here. On the box score here, he threw 1 pick yesterday, just 1. But Georgia's offense was held to. He did have, he lost a fumble too. So he lost a fumble and threw a pick. So he was responsible for 2 turnovers.
The Rashada kid they have there, I know he was highly recruited. I mean, there was a whole deal with him suing Sunbelt Billy and suing some agent down there at Florida, and there was all kind of shit there. So that kid's highly talented. I mean, geez. I mean, Gunnar Stockton's been there for years. I mean, and has done nothing but play in garbage time.
Georgia's offense was held to 245 yards, jackpot.
They're just a wet fart. I mean, they don't impress anybody. I mean, what are they good at?
They're good at stomping fucking Clemson. They did that.
Well, yeah.
They stomped the fuck out of Clemson. They accomplished that. So anyway, let me see if I can get this video sent to over so we can actually see it.
Mike Bridges, thank you for the super chat. He says Georgia's offensive line coach Searles needs to not have a job already. O-line is piss poor and has regressed since last year. What did James Coley go down there to coach at Georgia?
Oh God, I don't remember.
The one that Shane Beamer hired to be the wide receivers coach.
Yeah, he went to coach. Was it
wide? He coached tight ends.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, according to Uncle Lou on the Your Season is Over video, Oscar Delp is on a milk carton and has not been the same player in at least a year. So there you go. That's what you get. You come trying to steal our damn coaches. There you go. You got a fucking turd. Congratulations, Kirby. Congratulations with your turd.
What a mess. All right, here we go.
Ben says he was with the Cousins. If you don't know who that is, that's Mike and cousin Shane. Says the Mizzou fans think they will stomp a mud hole in South Carolina. I told them to watch film. Dude, they had to rely on Oklahoma putting the ball on the fucking ground yesterday in order to get a victory. But anyway, let's see what we got going on here.
All right, this is from Old Peckerhead.
So I'm on my way home from the Vandy game, and I just smelled something in the air, man. I had to pull over and check it out. I found the biggest garbage mound in Tennessee. Just happened to stumble upon it. Man, what a dump. So I'm on my way home from the Vandy.
So wait a minute. He gets a win, and he's on the way home. He gets a win, and he has to stop at Tennessee to mock Tennessee. Oh, goodness. Craziness there.
Dump.
Yeah.
Dump,
Anyway.
dump.
All right. So we all said that happened with,
I was
with
kidding.
Georgia.
It looks a lot better than when I went up there like in 1995. They closed all that stuff down. It looks a lot better. All these stadiums do. I mean, they've all undergone facelifts anyway.
So the Miami lost yesterday. They went down to Georgia Tech, and they got they lost their game. They were 11-point favorites, ended up losing. It felt like they were playing with borrowed time anyway, right, Jackpot?
Yeah, I mean, what is the thing? You keep playing fire, eventually you're going to get burned. I mean, they've been playing fire for a while, playing for fire. We can't talk. They've been playing with fire for several games now, and it finally caught up with them. God, fucking nerds. I mean, geez.
Yeah, well, Cristobal has lost 2 straight to them, but the Miami fans telling me he's the best coach in the conference, but he can't seem to beat Georgia Tech.
He's not the best coach in the conference. He's got a really good quarterback that they bought from the transfer portal. And he'll be gone after this year, and then we'll see. We'll see. The defense is shitty. He'll be gone after this year.
Shitty. There you go. Caroline Tyne says Miami should have 2 losses. Yeah. All right, but there's our experience there. Up next for Clemson goes to Pittsburgh this weekend. South Carolina's at home. They will welcome in Mizzou. Someone on Facebook asked what has got to happen for Clemson to play in the ACC championship. SMU has to lose 2 of their last conference games. Miami has to lose 1 of their last conference games. Miami will play – oh, God, I can't remember who it was this week, but Wake Forest this week, and then they play at home, and then they're on the road at Syracuse the following week. Obviously, the fruit's going to be the game that you look at and think, all right, that there's a chance they could lose that one. I don't know if they will or not, but for Clemson, and Clemson, by the way, has to win out, so they got to win at Pitt next week. So that's how that works. SMU, by the way, their schedule here. They were off this week. Next week, SMU will play Boston College at home, and then the following week, it will play Virginia on the road. So it looks like, I mean, from those 2 games, I don't think they're going to drop those 2 games, to be honest with you. But do they play in the week 14? Yeah, in week 14 they've got Cal, so there's 3 games for them. But
both those teams won yesterday.
Cal won, didn't they?
Yeah, Boston College won against the Fruit, and Virginia won on the road at Pitt. That was a good win for Virginia.
Yeah,
Pitt let the SMU loss beat them twice.
I think so.
Yes, Zona Tucson, I sure did. Thank you, and I appreciate the congratulations on the win. Thank you, sir. What was I going to say? Virginia got shelled last time out. Last time they played when they played UNC. So yeah, it was a good deal.
Gene says, I know it's early here. You heard it first. South Carolina will play Indiana in a bowl game.
Well, Indiana will have to lose to Ohio State this weekend, or not next weekend when they play. And then what if Indiana was to make it? I don't think Indiana. If Indiana loses to Ohio State, I don't think Indiana's going to make it to the Big Ten title game. If Oregon wins out, they'd probably be a Indiana or a Ohio State Oregon rematch, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I got to look at the standings on all that, but I think that the best thing for Indiana is that they just need to win this weekend because they win that because the first thing that a lot of people are going to say is who have they played, and
Who have they played?
well, it's frustrating because they can't. We got the media telling us that the SEC is the best conference and the Big Ten's the conference it's right there behind them, and those two teams should have all these teams in the playoffs. But then the same media will tell you, look, if we have an Indiana team that finishes 11-1, but their one loss is to Ohio State, they absolutely don't belong over a 3-loss Alabama team.
Well, that's ridiculous because what if they lose to Ohio State by 3 points in overtime?
Right. Well, that's the thing, Jackpot. You're not a dumb fuck. All right. You understand that. These are the dumb fucks that are pushing this narrative, though, that a 9-3 LSU team or a 9-3 Alabama SEC team has played. In their minds, it was tougher to go 9-3 in the SEC, and since they're in the Big Ten, they go 11-1. It doesn't matter. They shouldn't be there.
What if they try to push to get a 10-2 Clemson team in that didn't win the ACC?
If Clemson finishes 10-2 and they don't go to the ACC championship game, I don't think they deserve to go at all.
Right.
I don't. That's just me.
They're not going to finish 10-2 anyway. But
they're going to finish 10-2 because if they finish 9-3, it'll be because they lose to Pitt this weekend. After this weekend, bye week. That's what it is.
Harry says Indiana barely beat Michigan. Yes, this is true. They also hammered Michigan State. They hammered Washington. They hammered Nebraska. I mean, they've hammered pretty much everybody. I mean, they had one game where they didn't, put up video game numbers and just absolutely destroy their opponent.
It's just funny. You're hearing some of this stuff. Well, if Indiana finishes 11-1, that one loss is to Ohio State. They don't belong. And I'm like, really? All right. So Indiana, let's look at their schedule. They're perfect on the year, 10-0. They played FIU and Western Illinois. They won at UCLA by 29. They beat Charlotte by 38. They beat Western Illinois by 73, by the way, 74.
Yeah, beating Biff Poggi, it's not a small feat.
Yeah. You beat Maryland by 24. They beat Northwestern by 17. Nebraska, they fucking shelled Nebraska by 49. They beat Washington by 14. They beat Michigan State by 37. They beat Michigan by 5. They've got Ohio State and Purdue left on the docket this year. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Oh man, I'd love to see them beat those damn suck nuts. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be great. Finn says 11-1 Indiana gets in, but there is no question. We'll see. Someone says, do you think the loser of Georgia and Tennessee are eliminated? Yes. Well, no, Tennessee's got one loss. I think if Georgia loses, they're out. They're completely out.
Georgia's definitely out if they lose. They're definitely out if they lose. If Tennessee loses
10-2, some things have to happen, but I don't think the Vols would be completely out of it. They're, it's looking like I don't know, man. That's a good question.
The Vols making it, if they were to lose to Georgia and they went out, it probably would have a lot to do with how Alabama performs down the last couple of games, because that's their signature win.
Well, but there's so many teams, Jackpot, that are at that two loss spot there.
Yeah, it's a log jam.
Yeah, it is a log jam. And I know people were laughing at me when I said that, but you can end up with a slew of teams with 2 losses. Texas has a loss, by the way. But if A&M beats them, then A&M will have 2.
Texas.
Then Texas will have 2 losses, and A&M will be with 2 losses.
Yep.
Only
one of A&M's losses is a conference loss too.
Yeah, so A&M will go to the championship game, but I'm just saying at the end of the season, look at all these teams that could have just 2 losses. Alabama's right there. They could be with 2 losses. Who else? Tennessee, if they drop a game, they'll be at 2 losses. If they drop that game and then Georgia's got 2 losses as well, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams there. I don't want to throw Mizzou into the mix because they're shitty, but right now they've got 2 losses, so we have to put them in the conversation too. You could have 5 SEC teams with 2 losses at the end of the season. It's not that far fetched, right?
It's not, and Devin Hayes puts it precisely. There, clusterfuck.
Yeah, clusterfuck. The real question is who's in the SEC championship game. Yeah, that'll be interesting too. Obviously, if A&M finishes with just 2 losses, they'll be in because they'll have the 1 losses to Notre Dame, the other to South Carolina, if they can win out. But there's a big window there with a lot of SEC teams that are going to finish in that 2-loss area. It's going to be a shit show. Yeah, Ole Miss is there too. That's like 6 teams. There are 6 teams that could finish with just 2 losses, I think, is the way that it looks. So, because the rest of the schedule, the rest of the way, I don't think they play each other. After this weekend, you've got Georgia and Tennessee play this weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that game, and then you got Texas A&M and Texas playing at the end of the season.
Yep. Yeah, they play rivalry week. That's going to be a huge game. That's the TV ratings on that game are going to be fucking outrageous.
Yeah. So there you go, jackpot. Let's open it up. We'll get some calls here. Pagan Megan says Georgia's going to finish with 4 losses. Thank you, Pagan. We can't laugh at him anymore because he was absolutely right about Ole Miss. He said they were going to get blown out, and they got blown
Who
out.
do they have? So Tennessee is Tennessee their last conference game?
Hold on, I'm checking all that right now. Let's see here. So let's look at. All right. So let's see here as I bring up the schedules and stuff here. All right. So this week you've got Tennessee and Georgia. And yeah, so the last conference game for Georgia is this weekend. Because that gives them 8 games there. As far as Tennessee goes, I mean, I think they've still got Kentucky and Vanderbilt, right? No, they've already played Kentucky.
Yeah, they've already played them. They beat them.
Yeah, so they got a game next week and then Vanderbilt. So that's what's left for Tennessee. And yeah, Georgia wraps up their SEC schedule this weekend. Let's see here. Where is Teja? Texas is 4-1, so they'll have Arkansas this weekend. That'll be there. They have 2 games after that. So let's see who they've got left. I know they've got A&M. Who's the other conference game they've got? It's probably something shitty.
It's Arkansas, and so they have another one.
So they got Arkansas, Kentucky. And A&M. Yeah. So
that's a murderer's row right there. Damn, I hope they make it through unscathed.
Kentucky's playing Murray State this weekend, by God. What a mess.
Missouri teams are playing multiple SEC. They already played Mizzou at the beginning of the season. You think Kentucky can beat them worse than Mizzou? Probably not.
Probably not.
They probably can't score that many points.
Here's Mizzou's we laugh at Mizzou, right? Because they've looked like shit. Here are their 3 games they've got left. They go to South Carolina. They go to Mississippi State, and then they've got Arkansas at home.
Watch us fucking lose to them, and then the next week they go and damn lose to Mississippi State,
who hasn't won a conference game.
That's about what we do. That's
Yeah,
so.
well,
That's what I'm telling people. That everybody's feeling good right now, and I mean, you should have been there if you were a Gamecock fan yesterday. I was feeling good too. I was feeling good too. It feels different. I mean, it really does, and I was really enjoying it. But I'm telling you, just I don't know.
you've been here before.
I don't want Sonny's fans to get too far ahead of themselves. Is all I'm saying.
Right. Well, you've been here before, though, so you've seen this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you get it. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, I have. Remember the last time 2 years ago when we got ranked for the first time in a while? What did we do the next week? We went and we lost to fucking Mizzou.
Yeah.
So,
Sporty, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Rob? How you doing, Jackpot?
what's up?
I'm gonna put Billy on with you guys. I'm gonna run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Hey,
What's up,
What
Billy?
do you think, guys?
I'm just in here for a second. Congratulations to the Gamecock fans for a great win, a decisive win on top of that.
Yes, sir.
A
No,
decisive.
thank you.
And yes, you met Scott, my youngest. He's going to be living in Columbia. There, where is it? Burnside Farms or some area subdivision, something.
Oh, I thought he already was there.
He is. He works out at Shaw Air Force Base, so he's a cybersecurity geek. Yeah, but yeah, and he's going to come to the Callaways thing on the 29th.
So
So
he's where at the Shaw Air Force Base.
yeah, but he's going to live in Columbia, so he can be close to the stadium.
Right. That's not that far.
He said it'd be about 30, 40 minutes.
So
He went
what?
to Lower Richland High School.
So what's your take on? So he went to Lower Richland. So where were you living at the time when he went to Lower Richland High School?
I was living in Florida. He was living with us. And the reason he was born at the University of Florida, that's when I was in the Air Force. I was OTS recruiter there for about 4 years in Gainesville. So
Okay, so you and his mom are divorced, I guess.
oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, I'm not trying to get in anybody's business. I'm just
Oh
trying.
no, that's
I'm
good.
trying to piece together this web. You know.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, gotcha.
Did he? He's a bodybuilder. Did you notice that by any chance, or did?
Not really.
He's
I mean,
he's massive.
did you? So, I mean, if you watched any of that game yesterday, I mean, obviously, I mean, South Carolina's defense kind of suffocated them, wore them down, and then later that game got. I mean, I just had a feeling that depth might be an issue for them, and it turned out it was. We just kind of leaned on them a little bit, especially that running game. So, what's your thoughts on Tennessee going there in a couple of weeks? Is there any nervousness about that one? Because
Yeah, I'm always nervous. Always.
you think that might be a little bit of a landmine.
It could be. It depends on which Tennessee team shows up, and sooner or later, the defense isn't going to win a game for us. So,
yeah. Diego Poverty, I mean, he's a baller, but I don't know. I don't think he played his best game yesterday.
well, they defense schemed him well. So
He did. I mean, he hit some decent passes. I mean, he's definitely, and he's elusive too. He had one he had one play, man. He hurdled a couple of defenders there, and then he got the absolute shit knocked out of him too for that. He got hurt at the end of the game too. I don't know if you saw that. He went hobbling off, but I think he'll be all right. I don't think it will look like anything long term to me. But Beamer did say something about it in the post game presser that Rob was making fun of. He, very first thing he did was give Diego Pavia a shout out that he was a great football player and a tough kid, and that he hoped he was okay. So that's the Beamer that we don't want to talk about. So that's the first thing that came out of his mouth.
classy Beamer, the classy.
Classy, but yeah.
How about talk about Hemingway might have broken his hand? Can we talk about that? Oh, we don't want to talk about that, right? Let's talk about Pavia and the chicken. Wonderful. Let's not talk about
Pavia and the chicken.
Five-
That sounds like a nursery rhyme or something.
and bled on the fucking field for you and laid his heart out there. Let's not talk about how
Sounds like a story for kids. Diego and the chicken.
opposing team's quarterback.
Well, Rob wasn't here when we first started talking. I was talking about Jackpot meeting my youngest son. So
No, that's cool. He's coming to the live show, right? I look forward to that.
Yeah. He's I think if you remember you weren't here a second ago, he's buying a house in Burnside Farms area subdivision.
Yeah. Okay.
He flew to the game and back, so he's
the more it rained, when it started raining there, especially when it was raining, I kind of saw that his game kind of slipped a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and I might be silly, and this might not mean anything, but I mean, it could be because he spent most of his, youth, high school years and college years playing in the desert pretty much. I mean, they don't get a lot of rain anywhere he's ever been. So, might not be too used to all that.
I'm adding to the bookcase of accountability.
I don't know if that means anything, but
that Jackpot may be right if you're not
desert quarterback can't play in rain. I mean, that's a thing probably.
But if you never have, it would be something new.
Yeah. I mean, how much do you think it rains in New Mexico? I mean, probably not very much.
It did a couple years ago, I think.
Add that to the
when I lived in Gainesville, they were preparing. I watched them prepare. This is back in the late 80s. They had fire trucks from Gainesville City Police Department, the county, around the practice field. They turned a water hose anticipating a deluge for the weekend game. And the players were practicing with the fire trucks spraying with water. So
wait, what? That's funny.
Oh, I mean, it's when you see it is. You see people practicing on a practice field. You see these fire trucks, arching water all over them and stuff. So, Gamecock Sporty, say something. You're making me nervous.
Win Model says he thinks Georgia's going to have more success on the ground against Tennessee than they did against Ole Miss. That's a fair point. And I don't know if that it has anything to do with what Tennessee does schematically or the fact that it's at home or anything else. I've got to think with his back against the wall like this, that Kirby Smart's going to have to come up with his coaches and him. They're going to have to come up and scheme up some kind of great game plan. I think they're going. I mean, I don't think that this guy's not get paid $11 million a year to sit down around with his thumb up his butt. So,
well, Mississippi State, I think I don't know how many yards they had right at 200 yards rushing, and they gouged us, and it was up the middle.
Really,
I mean, everything was up the middle.
Damn,
up the middle, and
wish we could play, y'all. Rocket would have himself a field day.
But a lot of people don't know Nico didn't play the second half. He was out with
Nico doesn't tackle guys on defense, so it doesn't have anything to do with
that's a good point. Nico is not a middle linebacker, sir.
And he wasn't. He's the quarterback of the team, and they had backups in, so the backup came in there. A lot of people don't realize the backup's been with Heupel for 5 years. So this guy knows the offense. I mean, he held his own. So
what's his name? Gaston Green or something.
Yeah, Gaston. I think his last name is Gaston. But he was with Heupel at UCF. So,
hey, let me ask you something, Billy, because I think you'll be honest with me. Do you think that at this point where Nico is at is kind of a disappointment so far?
Well, I'm not delusional. I think he's on track. I think he's being fed enough to deal with. So I think he's growing into his own.
Given him the whole offense, do you think that maybe that's part of it? He hasn't picked up the whole offense yet?
I don't think he has all of it, and that's just speculation. I think Heupel's growing him. So he went out with concussion protocol yesterday. So From what I understand, he's supposed to be okay, but I think he's okay. I don't expect any more of him than where he's at. You're talking somebody for 20 years. We didn't make a bowl game, so no, I'm okay. I'm okay. Our quarterback room's fine. We got another 5-star on the way in the class of 26, so he'll be pushed. Either he'll get better or go. He ain't going nowhere.
Well, I'm just asking if he lived up to the expectations that
So far for me, yeah. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman, and I think
shout out to Tiger Red Devil there. Happy birthday to the Marines. That's right. It's Marine Corps' birthday, by God.
Tomorrow's Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to all the veterans.
But Marines right there too. So,
Sven said Nico has a brush on his collarbone, but nothing's broken. So, you know what they need to do? They need to let him play quarterback against Georgia with a neck roll on. Wouldn't that be badass?
What they
Look
need
like Skowski. Remember Skowski, the white linebacker for Clemson?
Fuck you, Jack.
Didn't the
I
linebacker
remember that.
Stutzman, doesn't he have a neck roll as well? The
Yeah, but
Stutzman
Jack-
guy from Oklahoma.
Stutzman, yeah, he has a
Yeah,
neck
neck
roll. Yeah.
All right. Well, Sporty, do you have something that you're going to say there? Or you just going to just watch us like we're in
It
a
looks
dork?
like a lineup down at the.
No, it's
Columbia
been
Police Department.
honestly, I've just been listening in. I didn't want to interrupt y'all.
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't know if it was my turn or anything like that. But
I need to drop out of anyway.
That matters, Rob. He doesn't just butt in and shit.
yeah.
He still needs to take a ride downtown on the good side of Columbia.
What do you mean the good town of Columbia? What do you mean the good side of Columbia?
I don't know if they have a good side in Columbia.
He's downtown. He's in that sanitized area where there's a cop every 7 feet.
Oh,
He's
no,
all
no,
right.
no.
He's down there where they're trying to protect all the serostitutes. He's fine.
You got to get down there in the hood. Sporty, you got to get down in the hood.
Here's what you do. Go to Williams-Brice Stadium and then walk 100 yards past it. Not up Bluffing, not down it, away from the fair. Then talk to me about Columbia.
Oh, I know what I want to say to Jackpot. Isn't South Carolina Stadium AstroTurf?
No, it's grass.
They were at one time, but they are not. As for football, they were at one time, but no, there's
We
the baseball field.
baseball fields grass.
Yeah, everything down there is all natural. We used to have turf in the 70s and the early 80s, and the Gamecock logo in the middle of the field was the ugliest, gaudy looking damn thing you ever saw. I wish I had a picture of it. It was awful.
I got one more little piece of it was the most embarrassing financial blunder ever. Tennessee Neyland was the first team in 67 or 68 to put AstroTurf in. And they out all it in. And everybody was oohing and all. And guess what they forgot to do?
Sew it together?
No, they forgot to provide shoes for the visiting team.
Well, wouldn't that be their responsibility?
Well, nobody else had AstroTurf back then. There was just one
right.
School. So they had to provide the AstroTurf shoes and stuff for visiting teams. So
Jackpot, I learned something over the weekend I didn't know, and it's interesting to me. When you storm the field, right, your check goes to the other
team. Yeah, we paid $250,000 for Jimbo's buyout.
$250,000 that y'all got fined is going to Texas A&M.
It's going to Jimbo's buyout.
Whatever. Yeah. I thought that was the craziest shit ever.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit. We got to write them a check for $250,000 because we stormed the field. Fuck out of here.
So I thought they had some nicer stuff at Alabama this time than what I had seen before. So I guess potentially Tennessee storming the field a couple of years ago and tearing the goalpost down and shit. That's crazy. You got to pay money to the other school Plus, on top of that, you have to pay to replace your own shit.
That's why it's like, stay the fuck off the field. That should be the mantra. Because, hey, we're going to give these motherfuckers money.
Well, I looked. They showed some stuff of the grounds crew and talking about what a great job they had done. I can't find a picture of that old ass AstroTurf, but there's some like on video. If you ever watch any George Rogers highlights or whatever, you'll see it look like shit. Like they replaced all those bushes in there already and got new ones up.
All right, I'm getting off here because I know Andrew's in the back with his cock hat on, wanting to blow smoke. So, congratulations again to the state of South Carolina. Y'all have a good one.
Sir.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Congratulations to the state of Tenant, well, except for Vanderbilt. But yeah, they replaced all those bushes around the field already, which is, it's pretty quick work. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, they can roll them in and roll them out. I mean, it's I got to give them credit. They're gonna make sure you're not gonna notice anything that's missing when you go back. So,
well, how about this? I remember he was telling it on a live stream maybe a couple years ago. Uncle Lou was telling the story about, he lives in Augusta,
Yeah.
And the Masters is down there, and that course down there, the Augusta National. I mean, it's like taken fucking immaculate care of. Anyway, apparently a few years ago, there was a storm and a couple of trees blew over. Mm-hmm. So instead of, like cutting that part down and getting rid of the stump, I mean, I don't know, whatever they do when a tree falls over, and there were these special pines. He said they actually, they brought full-grown pine trees in, like on a flatbed trailer, and they were like clogging the interstate up down there and shit. There was like 4 or 5 like 70-foot long full-grown pine trees, root ball and everything, going down this interstate to get to Augusta National, and they planted the trees and hoisted them up there so they would be ready for the Masters.
Yeah, it's crazy all the stuff they do there. They import the sand from some crazy place. I mean, it's it's fucking insane. And
Georgia sand's not good enough.
No, it's some other weird sand. I don't know. I love golf, but the way that they do things is kind of silly.
I mean, that's only all the elites. They've got shit going on. Yeah.
All right, Sporty, what do you have for the program, sir? Go ahead. We want to give you your shot.
Yeah, I was just going to recap the Vandy Carolina game. I thought we did what we had to do to move the ball against them. Vandy does a very good job of limiting possessions, and I knew going into that game that it was going to be a low-scoring game because of that. In terms of overall points scored, there's 35 points scored in total for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that we had to make each of our offensive possessions count. So we did a good job of that. But defensively, we did pretty good as well, shutting down the run and forcing Vanderbilt into long third down situation. We did let them convert a lot of third downs, but I think the problem with that was just not putting a spy on Pavia. When we put a spy on Pavia, forced him to make a play with his arm. It didn't really happen. I think he made one really big. He hit that running back down the sideline for a big pass play on a third down one time. Outside of that, I don't really think of anything too big that was probably his biggest throw of the night. I mean,
yeah, he had a couple of them. And we did a lot of good things yesterday. Still some dumb stuff though. I don't know if you saw. There was a couple of plays happened a couple of times when the Norris. He just took the snap and he just immediately ran to his right or left, and just immediately there was no play, and he just fucking goes right out of them bounds. Did you see those plays? I don't know what. I don't know what the play call was there. Something didn't develop. I don't know. It looked like shit.
I don't know if they've given him the full playbook either. So there's that.
Yeah. Maybe that's
You know?
something we have to see for next year. Maybe after, well, we're bowl eligible now. That maybe we'll see the playbook open up a little bit more in the bowl game when he has a month to practice in between. Maybe that's a possibility, but I think definitely next year he'll have the playbook completely down with him.
Well,
being,
Nick Harper finally showed up yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I'm honestly I'm just surprised they didn't drop a pass. I mean, that was a
He
clutch.
showed up. I mean, he had a little bit of attitude too. I mean, he fought for some yardage on one of them too, and Gage
also
finally showed up yesterday too.
Is it me, Jack Potter? Maybe I'm just. It seems like they set him up for instead of hey, we're just going to try moonshots with this guy. They set him up with some shorter passes so he could have a better opportunity to catch it and use that big body of his to move down the field.
Right. Yeah, he did. And so
if that's the case, maybe we can, maybe that's maybe they're getting more confident in him there. Who knows, man? I don't know.
yeah, Rocket Sanders, they're talking about him over in the comment section too. I mean, he did. I mean, catching passes out of the backfield and running the football yesterday. Pretty dominant. 400 yards of offense in the last 2 games.
He's playing like Marshall Faulk used to play. Like, I mean, he's doing everything from that position. I mean, just a true hybrid running, catching, doing all of it. Whatever the offense needs, he's doing it. So, just saying. I mean, he's playing some really good football for South Carolina. So,
yeah, he's looking really good. The halfback screen sealed that game. That was a really good play call.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
I'm wondering if Dow Loggins is making those play calls.
Fair.
Makes you wonder.
Fucking tool bag. All right, there's school. Appreciate it, man.
What'd you say?
Laughing at Jackpot.
Oh,
Appreciate it. Have a good night, buddy. We'll see you later.
You too.
Thank you, sir. All right, I'm going to bring
Waddle wants to know how the traffic situation is in Nashville compared to other cities. I mean, I didn't think it was bad at all. The city of Nashville, like where I was at, because we didn't go downtown or do any of that shit because we're old farts, and I got done with the game. We went found our car. It cost us $20 to park. We went right down one street, made 2 turns, and we were on the interstate and right back. So Vanderbilt is the easiest in and out that you'll ever have. In terms of going to a football game, as far as parking and all that goes. Now, downtown, I'm not sure about. I will tell you that the Interstate 24 from Chattanooga all the way up through there to Nashville, like that whole area, it's fucking ridiculous. And the traffic around Chattanooga is nuts, too. I didn't know that – yeah, well, I've been through there a couple of times. I didn't know the traffic was as horrendous as it is. And I think some of that may have to do with Interstate 40 through North Carolina being closed down for a large portion of it. A lot of trucks probably having to go through Atlanta and go up that way to get, up towards, Memphis and going on up, into like Chicago and places like that. So, yeah, it could be what that is.
All right, before we bring Andrew in, I want to bring in Jarrett.
What's going on?
How are you?
Well, I'm not happy, obviously. UGA lost, but I expected it because Carson Beck, I knew he would turn the ball over. Not the way I expected he would. 2 fumbles and 1 interception. I said, like I told you earlier, I think it was Thursday or Friday, if he would turn the ball over, he was going to lose that game, and they did. But in actuality, Ole Miss was a little bit more physical than Georgia, and I think really drop passes is probably Georgia's main problem too.
Well,
because
one second, you said something there that hinged me for a minute. When's the last time we heard about anybody being more physical than Georgia?
they were more physical. That's just what it was.
Too. Who thinks that I feel sorry about what happened to Kamala in the elections? That doesn't bother me.
But
what is wrong with you people?
I don't know. I don't feel sorry for her.
I don't.
Me
feel
neither.
sorry for her.
Nobody told her she had to run for president.
Yeah,
she prostituted her way to the top.
Look, we
She's
don't know.
taken
who's-
L's before. She'll bounce back and
Look,
be.
we like to deal with facts on the program here, so let's just have this as a factual conversation. They put her in a shitty position. She had 100 days to run for office, and she didn't know how to fucking do it. She didn't know how to sit and talk with people. So I don't feel sorry for her. She's a fucking dope. She's a fucking dope. Oh, you want to be the president? That's great. You have 100 days. Go. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of in my life. It's ridiculous. So don't think that I felt one inkling of sorrow for that, because that's just terrible. Terrible the way that worked out. So anyway, go ahead and finish your thought there, Jared.
Yeah, I just think they got out physical, but really the turnovers and damn Frazier, he fucking 2 turnovers from him. He needs to learn how to hold the ball because he turned the ball over like twice. Luckily,
Kirby made him nervous last week when he chewed his ass after he did that gator chomp or whatever, he throat slash or whatever he did, and then he jacked him up over there on the sideline. I think he made him nervous. Probably why he did them fumbles.
So
maybe.
what you're telling me, Jared, is that your team is not tough, because they were out toughed by the old piss yesterday.
No, it's not. They're not tough. It's just the players. No,
and well, I mean, that's
No.
what I got.
what I'm saying is they drop passes, and yes, they get turnovers, but the drop passes is really bad. I mean, they're the number 1 drop passes in the country. That's been stated. That was stated on the broadcast.
How do you feel about?
Are you sure it's not Tennessee? Because the Tennessee man said that that Nico
That was-
got a lot of receivers drop passes, and that's why.
That was stated on the broadcast. We're the number 1 drop passes in the country.
Tennessee must be number 2 then.
Yeah, we drop passes more than anybody in the country, and
What do you
that's
think of Beck laughing?
huh.
What do you think about Beck laughing on the sidelines while they were
I
getting
think-
their
I think Beck needs to be benched. I think he needs to be benched.
Well, you're more G-rated than a lot of people, because from what I heard after that, they were like, man, that motherfucker needs to transfer. That's what they were feeling.
I think he needs to go to the fucking NFL and then be a 7th round draft pick.
Can we bring Venus up later? No. Well,
I think he needs-
anyway, I'm just
I think he needs to
asking,
go-
'cause, I didn't watch. I mean, I watched some of that game on replay, but I didn't get like all of it. And I still think Georgia's one of a top 10 football team. Let's not get out of the realm of silly here.
They don't play like it. They're not playing like it.
That's fine, but I'm just saying, from my perspective, it's hard for me to think of, let's say 15 teams that are better than Georgia. It's really hard for me to do that.
But I'm happy for South Carolina. They did pretty good. Obviously, I mean, who else do they got on their schedule?
South
Missouri,
Carolina's
we got Mizzou this weekend, and then we play Wofford, and then we play Rob's Mary Band of Dumb Fucks in the last game of the season.
Y'all should beat Clemson. I don't know about Missouri. Is that quarterback starting? Is he 100%?
Their backup played all yesterday. So
Y'all should be able to beat him.
he actually did a halfway decent job this time. Drew Pine, but I mean, like Oklahoma went ahead of them. What was 23-16 late in the game? Mizzou fumbled, and Mizzou picked it up for a scoop and score. So they went ahead 23-16, and then Mizzou goes down and scores. And then Oklahoma is going to try to drive and hit a field goal or something to win the game. Anyway, they fucking fumbled. And Mizzou did a scoop and score. I mean, just really sloppy. Jackson Arnold for Oklahoma last night was like 8 of 15 for like 70 yards.
Hey, you know the bad thing is? You know what the bad thing is? 2 quarterbacks are from that branch is going. They're gone. They're going to the transfer portal. So now your former coordinator from Clemson has no quarterback. He has no quarterback to play with. He has to hope that somebody from the recruiting cesspool
Wait,
will have somebody.
who do you think? Wait. Hold on. You think everybody in Clemson's quarterback room is transferring? Is that what you're telling me?
No, not Clemson, from Oklahoma. I think that Venables doesn't have anybody. Like all of the guys, all those two quarterbacks, Arnold and the other guy, is transferring because they
Well, all I can say to you on that front is that Oklahoma doesn't have a problem with putting up NIL money. They will go and find what's the Miami quarterback, the guy that's down there like that. They'll find the top rated guy to come in there.
Ward.
Yeah, they'll find the Cam Ward or an equivalent and try to bring him in. Oklahoma will not be without a starting quarterback next year.
I don't know. I still think that they're not going to be good. I think they're going to be terrible next year. But I think South Carolina's on the right track. If they can just keep what they're doing and then go into next year, they'll be all right.
Yeah, they're going to lose a ton of players off that defense for next year, but I mean their offense should be as good or better. Should be improved, especially at the receiver position. So we'll see.
All right, Jared.
I know one damn thing for sure. We'll at least have a better place kicker next year. Good God, that guy is terrible.
Yeah,
We should have beat him 31-7. Right? So he missed a field goal there close to the beginning of the game. I don't even know. I don't know if he pushed that thing wide right or he left it short or what. I just know it just got up in the air and just died like a damn duck, and then just fell. So yeah.
yeah. The only thing I can take pride in for EGA right now is we got a pretty damn good kicker, and that's about it. And one decent running back, but he's fumbles.
That would be Peyton Woodring.
Jared, I don't want to hear you running your mouth about all these NFL players if you just start talking up your kicker. You got 10 guys who are going to get drafted, fucking whatever, Okay, man.
I'm just saying. I mean, how long has it been since we've had a decent running back drafted? Since I don't think it's been a while.
Todd Gurley?
Does Zeus play in the NFL?
Yeah.
That's been 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so 2 years. I mean,
yeah, ever since then, we've been on the slump for running backs. We've been in a transfer portal, and we have one good running back, and that's about it. We ain't had any other multiple running backs coming in, and that's our staple is running backs.
yeah. Michelle, Frothy Tavern says. Chubb. I mean, you guys have had so many damn good running backs, so.
If you think about it, though, Sonny Michel and Nick Chubb and all those guys, all those were Mark Richt guys. I mean, I don't know that. I mean, has Kirby really brought in a bevy of good running backs there since he's been there? I mean, maybe I'm just not thinking of a lot of them. Y'all had James Cook. He was average. And then last year I couldn't even tell you who ran the ball for him. Dylan Bell, I know he's not really a running back by trade, but he's lined up back there some. I don't.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. How are y'all doing?
Hey, what is your problem with your camera? You like got your camera.
Hold up. I'll tell you. Actually, while I was
let's all look at Peckerhead's chin.
When I smelled something coming down the interstate and I pulled over, I actually met a Gamecock fan. Do y'all want to see who I met?
I'm sure. Who'd you meet? So you went and
Listen, hey, a loyal Gamecock fan, I'll accept them into the family any day of the week. All right.
Yeah.
It was good to see a loyal Gamecock in enemy territory. All right.
He looks like a good boy.
He does, doesn't he? And he looks good in that Gamecock regalia, doesn't he?
He absolutely does.
And the funny part about this photo is I actually held up some Tennessee senior who wanted to take graduation photos with that dog. So so that I could get this. They just had to watch me absolutely desecrate really the only statue they have. I mean, they have a couple in the background. I think that's for like segregated athletes. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see another Gamecock. But Rob, listen, I seem to remember on Wednesday's stream, I said something along the lines of exactly what the fuck happened, and all I got was, well, do you think Tennessee or Texas' offense is better than South Carolina? Do you think Alabama's offense is better than South Carolina? We came out, we dominated them, we ran the ball all over them.
What do you want from me, dude? I picked you to win.
Listen, I want you to acknowledge that I was right.
I picked you to win. What else do you want from me?
Did I get the game script exactly right? We dominated. We shut down their run.
Once again, you're like the ugly prom queen. You got to be told you're pretty every day.
Tell me.
What you said happened was going to happen. But also, Jackpot said the same thing too. So it wasn't like you were on your own in your thinking. It wasn't like
you didn't give Jackpot the level of pushback you gave me.
I don't fucking have to, because Jackpot doesn't need my affirmation to verify his nuts.
Listen, this is the coping of.
Yeah, I just need my mirror for that.
He doesn't need me to baby him, okay? Because he's a true football fan. He's seen a lot of shit. He doesn't need to be verified by me. When
you know what's crazy? I texted Jackpot last night, and I said, I guarantee you Rob's going to come in and spin this to make Beamer look negative. And what's the first thing we heard? Press conference.
Press conference was bullshit. I wasn't the only one.
No, it wasn't. Listen, when Spurrier did the same shit, everybody is praising him. When Spurrier calls out a reporter, everybody praises him. Everybody praised him. Don't bullshit me. I was there. Everybody praised Spurrier when he called out reporters.
You were fucking 7 years old. Fuck off with all that.
Everybody called out reporters when Spurrier was there. Am I wrong? So I'm wrong that everybody didn't praise Spurrier when he called out reporters at press conferences.
No, Teddy.
I know I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong. But then when Beamer does it, it's a whole other standard, and Beamer's a piece of shit, right?
Beamer shouldn't have said what he said.
There's the double standard. The double standard right there, highlighted for everyone to see.
It's not a double standard. Spurrier was called out on it too. You fucking.
No, he was not.
Yes, he was. I was fucking at the goddamn press conference, you idiot. I was fucking sitting there.
The only thing that
you baffle me with your stupidity.
I could get behind Beamer getting on their ass about bullshit. My only thing was with bringing it up is like I wouldn't have brought it up because like this is 2024, and I mean, how many damn people will read the newspaper right now? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I've got no problem if he wants to tear into someone. Hey, Dion primetime Dion does it, and everybody on social media is like, "Oh, Dion keeps receipts. Dion keeps receipts."
Yeah.
Spurrier does it. The whole Gamecock fan base praises him.
We ripped fucking Dion for doing the same shit.
It doesn't matter. The national media was behind Dion on that. Let's be honest. The national media was behind. Yes, they were. The
national media wants him to fail unless you're Stephen A. Smith and his band of folks. If we're going to be completely honest with you.
I don't think so. They're good for media. You don't think they're good for me? I think they want to keep them around as long as they can. I mean, that's profit.
I think that you're full of shit.
What about Sanders? Yeah, I mean, that's stories. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they definitely don't want to.
Nobody wants Carl Durrell back.
You know what I'm saying? But listen, Vandy, an absolute dump. All right, and I've never seen such a shitty team have a mouthier bunch of fans. And I saw. Listen, you want to hear the caliber of fan that Vandy has, Rob? I saw this girl, and it was raining, all right? I saw this girl drop a whole piece of pizza onto the ground into a puddle, pick that shit up, not even wipe it off, and just start eating it right again. It was the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean,
that is the caliber of Vandy fans.
Where the young men were sharing a beer.
What'd you say?
Sharing a beer.
I didn't have – last time I was there were a few more of them talking shit than what we're talking shit now or this time because I was in the Gamecock section, but last time when they did the when they were doing the one cheer we do, the USC Go Cox. Anyway, the two teenager Vanderbilt fans, kind of a few rows in front of me, were doing that last time, and we were beating them like 21-7 or something. It's like, and they would do USC sucks Cox, but I was like, buddy, you better look at the scoreboard. Boom.
That's a good
And anyway, but to that point, yesterday there was one that got mouthy back behind us. He said something loud there to the effective right before the game started. Y'all ain't even the real USC. And then I heard him say it one time. I'm like, fuck over. Then he did it again. He said, y'all ain't even the real USC. And I turned around and said, you're not even the real Vandy. So everybody busted out laughing at him. So
and Kale's not one. For such a shitty team, all right, I've never seen anything like it. They are the mouthiest bunch of fucking fans. It's insane. And all you got to do is point at the scoreboard. I reminded them, you haven't beat us in 15 years. I don't know why you're mad at me. You need to be mad at your fucking AD who keeps putting the fucking shitty ass product on the field.
They have, they really need some work on the I don't know what department you call it, but the game day atmosphere
terrible
department. That PA, that music playing up until right before the snap is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Well, the last time I went 2 years ago with my son, and imagine that same mess going on, but it was crackling. So it wasn't even working right. And I don't know if you noticed their video board would freeze up.
Yeah.
It was so shitty.
Their announcer, listen, the fans wouldn't even cheer until the announcer said to.
The ship horn on third down, it's third down.
And the fans are storming out. And listen, I don't know if you experienced this, and the Tennessee fans will actually appreciate this. And I kid you not, it smelled like raw sewage right on the outside of that stadium. It was fucking disgusting. Did you get that, Kale? I swear, yes.
No, I had COVID about a year ago, and I lost a lot of my sense of smell, and I still haven't picked it back up yet. So
thank God you didn't have it, dude. It was, listen, we walked in. I looked at my dad. I looked at my girlfriend. I was like, what? We all said, what the fuck is that? It was literally, it smelled like raw sewage right at the fucking concourse. And I don't know if you walked around at all, but did you see what they had hanging right over there by their locker room?
No.
Bowling national championship banners. I swear they had bowling national championship banners strung up right on.
Well, they did have, I pointed it out in my video, they had a lot of pictures up underneath the concourse of men's basketball players and women's basketball players here at the football stadium. That's great. But the anchor down thing at the beginning of the game,
so cringy,
cheesiest shit I've ever seen. I mean, what are they trying to be, Florida State or something with the flaming spear? Let's anchor down.
Mm-hmm. And they had
it's the cheesiest tradition that I don't think they did that 2 years ago, so they must have just picked it up. But that doesn't excite anybody. I mean, what little kids like, Daddy, make sure I want to get there early so we can see the anchor down. It's not like, I mean, South Carolina does the 2001. I mean, the Taters, I mean, they run down the hill. I mean, Florida State throws the spear. I mean, that's exciting. That would be the anchor down is not exciting.
Oh no. And listen, they also, it has to be mentioned, the weakest flyover you've ever seen at a college football game. It literally
was a helicopter.
It was not even that. It was a hospital transport helicopter. It wasn't even like a Black Hawk. It was like a tourist helicopter. It looked like it was just typical. I mean, what you expect from Vandy. I mean, what a fucking dump, man. But hey, the game went exactly like I thought it would. And another thing, Rob, you were talking about special teams on Wednesday, I remember. Clemson has had 2 games in a row with blocked field goals. What the fuck is going on there?
They're not very good.
They got what is there some? Because admittedly I haven't watched either game. What's going on with
You
those?
talk
Actually,
football, or are you actually gonna just spew more bullshit?
I've listened. Yeah, I've beat my chest. I'm ready to be real now.
I can tell you why the Clemson special team sucks if you really want to know.
Yeah.
Sweeney will hire an actual special teams coordinator. There's a special teams coordinator on staff, but they don't actually have someone that works with the kickers and all of that. They don't. It's just something I don't think Dabo Sweeney believes in. So that's why Clemson special teams is generally the shits, because they have a guy that's supposedly the coach, but in reality, he's there to recruit. He's not actually there to coach. It's kind of what it boils down to.
Well, and another thing, because again, I didn't see the game. I did see that y'all gave up, I think it was 4 sacks. Has that been a trend throughout the year? Is the O-line a little bit suspect?
They didn't give up anything after the first half. They were out-coached again. Okay.
Yeah, I saw it was 7-0.
Yeah, well, it was 7-0, and the only scores from the block field goal. They had Klubnik running around like a fucking idiot, going in the wrong direction the majority of the first half. And
Wait,
then all
did
of a
they take
sudden,
the block field goal back all the way?
yeah.
I didn't know they housed it. I just saw the block.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't watch the rest of the video.
I bet those fuckers up there thought Beamer ball.
Do y'all still have that fucking accountant kicking field goals for y'all?
No, that son of a bitch is gone, thank God.
Is he? Is it Robert Gunn, that guy who
Hauser was the one, I think, that's the kicker.
Jackpot hates him.
Hauser?
Yeah, I can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
False the chips.
Hey, and to Carolina Jackpot's credit, he was talking about there's help on the way for the special teams. I don't know if you knew this, Rob, but I think I told Jackpot this. South Carolina has the #1 kicker in the class committed. So, I mean, he wants to come in, be a part of some special teams.
Mason Love, he's already on the roster.
Well, he's a punter. They've got a kid. I think it's Matt something, but he's the #1 kicker in the 2025 class. He's committed to the Gamecocks.
Bring it on. Damn.
I'm telling you, we need some help in that department. For how much effort? Well, and here's another thing. How's that guy been there for 5 years on scholarship, and we haven't fucking pulled it by now? I mean, they had to have seen this in practice, surely, right?
I don't know. He's pretty rough.
I mean, I think Beamer just wasn't ready for a Mitch Jeter transfer portal. I mean,
I don't think so too. I think that caught him by surprise.
When the hell do you lose a kicker to the transfer portal? Let's just be honest. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Quentin Reddish returned the block field goal 77 yards, and that was their score in the first half for Virginia Tech. So then they got a touchdown in garbage time.
Well, I don't know if you I know you saw the Shane Beamer press conference, but I don't know if you saw the Clark Lee press conference. I believe the first sentence he used was, "This was a 3-phase ass whooping." That was how he opened up his post game press conference, and I have to agree with him. This Carolina team is playing good at the right time. And Rob, I'm gonna drop something on you, and I don't necessarily agree with it. All right. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm going to drop something on you, okay? ESPN has a playoff calculator, all right? And they, according to ESPN, and like I said, I'm not necessarily endorsing this, but according to ESPN, if South Carolina wins out, we have a 64% chance to make the playoffs. What do you think about that? You can look it up. Type in ESPN playoff calculator. You can it'll pull it up. You can probably look it up.
I read that thing earlier. That was in the Gamecock feed there, where everybody was talking about, oh, there's a chance that we could make the playoffs. So, yeah, cool.
Do you think? Well, how many? Because it would have us, according to that simulation, it said we would be a 9 seed. So. Where do you think who's getting left out in that scenario? It would have to be like a Big 10 or a Big 12 team, surely, right? That means they're probably thinking they're going to take at least 5 or 6 SEC teams.
The Big 12 probably won't get anybody in, but they're champion.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, listen, a lot of those teams are inflated by really shitty schedules, and a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's the God honest truth. I mean, I'm all for Indiana, but they haven't really been playing that big of a competition. Let's just keep it.
So I did the
They
playoff.
lacked a non-conference game against somebody valid.
Well, in Michigan, I know they just beat the tar out of Michigan, but this is a shitty.
No, they only beat them by 5.
I thought they were up.
That was a close win, actually. They beat the shit out of everybody else, but they had a struggle with Michigan.
Oh, when I checked in at game time, I thought they were up big. I guess that must have came back. They must have came back
I
late.
think it was 14-3 at one point, but they only ended up I think they won 15-10 or something weird like that.
Yeah, I guess I didn't catch the full final score. I just assumed they.
Victor is interesting. They do have South Carolina that high. They also they have Mizzou there too. If Mizzou wins out and doesn't go to the conference title game, they give them a 60% chance of making the playoff.
Well, let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about the bicycle college last night. Carolina Jackpot had Utah. I had the Utes on the money line, and they had that damn thing dead to rights, and they were.
I have a correction. I just looked it back up. It's been updated to a 47% chance if we win out.
Wow.
So there's an updated correction. It's not 63. It would be a 47% chance if we went out to make the college.
Yeah, that's a tall ask just to do all that. But anyway, BYU had 4th down and long deep inside their own territory last night against Utah. Like a minute left, and those refs made one of the most egregious holding penalties I've ever seen against Utah. Gave BYU a first down. They marched down there and kick a field goal and win the game. And their coach, that Kyle Whittingham, he was lit. They didn't start throwing trash on the field or anything. But after the game was over, the athletic director spoke during the presser, and he was fucking pissed. And this guy was he's like, we were proud to be invited in and become a member of the Big 12. He's like, but
now we want to leave.
We are not proud to be part of the Big 12 this evening. He's like, I will definitely be sending this up to the commissioner and all this shit. I was like, damn.
Yeah, no, he literally said, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he essentially said, if the reffing is going to be this bad, we need to talk about leaving the conference. He said something along the lines of that. I mean, that was insane.
Matthew said, I've never heard an AD say, hey, I haven't either. I mean, that's.
Since when do ADs do press conferences?
I don't know, but I guess he felt like he needed to. Maybe he wanted to say that because maybe the coach, Whittingham, he's probably speaking for him.
Well, could you imagine Ray Tanner?
He wanted to save him from getting any flack for it. So he's just like, I'm just going to go out there and fucking say it.
Well, could you imagine Ray Tanner coming out after that LSU game and saying something similar to that? I mean, I would be ashamed as a Gamecock fan at that point. I mean, that's piss poor.
Why?
Having your AD come out and
let me make sure I understand this. Beamer can spot off his nonsense, but Tanner says fuck the refs.
If Beamer's winning ranked games, he can do whatever the fuck Hey, when's the last time y'all won a ranked game?
I don't know.
I don't know if Beamer and Tanner, I don't know if any of those guys would have the balls to stand up like that to the SEC brass and call out somebody that way.
Well, I mean,
it ain't going to get you anywhere either. It's not like it's going to change the course of the game. I mean, it's literally not going to get you anywhere. All it does is just make your school look like a bunch of fucking crybabies.
Yeah, well, you have a crybaby coach anyway, so.
Yeah, well, when was your last top 10 win?
What does that have to do with your coach being a bitch?
I'm just asking. It's an unrelated question, let's say. When was your last top 10 win?
I don't know when our last top 10
I don't know either.
I don't either, actually.
I know that your coach is a bitch every day. We know that.
I'm pretty sure you've lost every home game you've played in the last 3 years to any team that's in the top 40 of the ESPN FPI. So I don't know why you're talking to me, sir. I mean, y'all y'all are a fucking garbage can that are getting held up by a shitty
That's not true. We beat Notre Dame at home last year. Go fuck yourself.
Notre Dame, the same Notre Dame
wow.
that lost to Marshall. Didn't they lose to Marshall that year?
They're in the top 40 of the FPI, so please try again.
But did they lose to Marshall?
About once again, you don't know
I think
what
they
you're
lost to Marshall too.
No, it was that
Was
that
that
was
the
the
year
year
prior?
before, but still,
lost out of the last
stench was still there.
bring up losses all over the place.
Prince was definitely still there. Listen, Notre Dame, they're in the same boat as Clemson, if you ask me. They benefit off of an absolutely poverty schedule. Can you imagine? Listen, Rob Sanders said that Clemson would win 11 games with South Carolina's schedule.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility.
Rob Sanders said he would win 11
Well,
games
anybody's
with
got a
South Carolina's
chance.
schedule.
Okay.
I don't think that I said that's not what I said. I said Clemson
might
would
have
win
been
11 games on Mizzou's schedule.
Well, I mean, well, they might.
No, you
because
said-
they're-
you said at
because
least
they
10
might.
wins
They
with
might.
Clemson.
I mean, there's no Louisville on it, so.
Or Georgia.
Mhm.
Hey, but in all actuality, South Carolina, if we're making a case for the playoffs, and I'll just give the honest case that I think they're talking about here. If we win out, the 3 losses come from current top 15 teams, and they're all early in the season. And what I think is going to happen is a lot of these teams who are sitting at 2 losses or 3 losses are going to be penalized by when their loss comes. And I think a lot of the teams that have late losses, because there's going to be a lot of late losses in the SEC, they're going to be penalized by that. And
Yeah, because recency bias means something.
Exactly. And they're going to look at South Carolina. I would imagine our 3 losses, they're at least going to finish in the top 20.
You could change your name to Rob has a recency bias.
Rob has listen, he keeps changing my name. It's ridiculous. This is the Clemson bias. And look at he's smirking. He's smirking up there. He thinks he's funny.
You're wearing a pecker on your head. I just called you
Dude,
what
you
you're
barely squeaked out a win versus Virginia Tech, and we barely talked about that. I mean, Clemson has had a string of absolute poverty performances. Let's just be real.
I'm gonna tell you this. I just want to put this out there. 1994 was 30 years ago, if I'm correct now. Wow, I can't believe that, but yeah, it was. Anyway, those uniforms yesterday, when I saw those uniforms we had on, I'm like, when have I seen those uniforms? Those road uniforms, since they look familiar with the white face mask, the garnet with the big names on the back. And I'm like, those are the 1994 uniforms that featured the first bowl win for South Carolina. That team that featured such stars as Brandon Bennett, Steve Tannehill, Boomer Foster, Toby Cates, Mike Reddick.
I think Mike Muse was on that team too.
Mike Muse, we'd say, was on that team back then too. A lot of good Gamecocks. A lot of underrated Terry Cousin. A lot of underrated Gamecocks. Tony Watkins from Rock Hill, South Carolina. But anyway. I know that year, and it's feeling, I don't know, it's feeling eerily like 1994 all over again for me with those uniforms and just thinking about Rocket Sanders to me looking like Brandon Bennett, toting that rock. And I'm like, thinking back to that 1994 Carolina Clemson game, it was a tight game in the first half. And then we opened up that second half with a trick play that got us down close to the goal line. Ended up, final score of that game, Carolina 33, Taters 7.
Boom. Much like the Vanderbilt game.
Yeah.
Listen, I will say
they actually gave up. They actually gave up.
Either of you want to bet right now and give me Clemson plus 26?
I'll give you Clemson money line.
Clemson, I mean, you're running your mouth 33-7. That's all right. Well,
I mean, I'm already giving you points at that point. South Carolina's probably not going to be favored in that game if Clemson keeps winning.
Well, unlike some, I think that Clemson's going to win that game.
Well, listen, you also were beating the Pittsburgh drum, and I touched on it last week. They got saddle drugged by SMU. I didn't see what they did this week, but I'm sure it wasn't impressive.
They lost a close game to.
Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still think
You
Pittsburgh's
shouldn't say,
better
hold
than
on,
South
sir.
Carolina?
Don't utter the name Virginia too loud. The last time you played them, you got fucking shut out. Don't say their name too loud.
Listen,
We don't need to
every
That
single
was,
player
that was
who's on
very
that-
embarrassing.
every single player who's on that Virginia team is now changing oil at a Midas touch right now. Okay, that's in the past. What's in the now though? As you said, Pittsburgh was miles a bit above South Carolina, and they've now lost 2 absolutely inexcusable games.
They got a better coach.
They don't have a better coach. Beamer wins.
They got a better coach.
That's what you don't realize. He's had 1 disappointing season at South Carolina.
Tell me about Beamer's appearances in the SEC championship game. I'll wait.
Well, if Pat
Well, it's not
Narduzzi,
a poverty conference.
Pat
Like
Narduzzi was as good as Beamer, he'd be coaching at South Carolina.
No, he
That's probably
wouldn't.
true,
Because
too.
did you guys won't hire him because your alumni are too stupid to be able to spell his name? And then fucking nix that guy. He's got too many consonants
You
in his
think
name.
spelling Beamer is not more difficult than Narduzzi? Come on.
I mean, yeah, that's orange bias at that point. You got to admit Narduzzi is. I mean, yeah, that's ridiculous. But listen,
I'd rather have Narduzzi than Beamer.
Shane Beamer has more top 10 wins since the turn of 2020 than Dabo Swinney has. And I haven't even looked that up, but I'm just saying it because I'm confident it's true. Because Dabo hasn't done shit since he's had Pretty Boy Lawrence and Massage Watson. All right. Listen, those 2 quarterbacks really covered up the holes in Dabo's scheme. Let's just be honest for a second. I think they honestly did. Now that you don't have all-star NFL quality quarterback
Christian
talent.
Wilkins being one of the highest paid fucking linemen in the fucking NFL. He had nothing to
You
do
mean
with
Gooch Boy?
Yeah.
Gooch Boy?
Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with a lot of guys. But okay.
You mean Gooch Boy? Come on, don't talk about him.
That was gross.
That was disgusting. You think? I bet he smelled his fingers in the locker room after that.
You know he did. Well, he was hoping to get a sniff. He was hoping that scent didn't wear off after it.
That's what I'm saying. You know, he didn't wash that. Listen, we
What if
should
he
have
smelled like a butt nut?
We should have been alerted about the Clemson culture then, but we didn't take notice, and then we got TJ Dudley. So who knows what's down the pipe for the Clemson man? I mean, it's just a progression of absolutely disgusting acts by the Clemson defensive players. And honestly, I think the NCAA needs to start to crack down on it. I think bowl game sanctions, maybe pull some scholarships.
Oh, we need to talk about the basketball coach down there at Florida. What have you heard about this, Rob? What's the deal with that old work?
So here's the crazy thing with that. So this guy was apparently stalking and sending messages to people and all kind of shit. But here's the best part. He did all this on Instagram, so yeah, it's students and all kind of people. You know, he was just being dumb.
Oh God, that's not a good look.
But here's
He
the
sent
best
dick
part.
pics. The fucking basketball coach. He's tall, I'm sure, so you know he's probably got a hog. So I mean, I'm sure he's proud of it, but damn.
No, I'm just saying the best part was who broke the story, and this is like.
Who wrote the story about the hog meat pics?
No, the best part is 2 journalism students from Florida, a junior and a senior, did all of the work. Okay?
Investigative journalism?
All the investigative journalism as journalism students found the story and they put it out there. Now, that's really cool in that these students said, you know what, we're 20 years old, we're in college, you know, we're not afraid of putting our balls out there against the guy who's paid multi-millions of dollars to coach at a Power 5 program.
A good basketball team too, not even like a
all of that. They went up against all of that. But here's the thing that is the most fascinating. You think that the blue and gold or whatever the hell they call themselves media down there, the ones that actually have guys on the beat, you think they didn't know this shit was going on? They got outworked by fucking college kids at the university. So the question is, what have they missed? Because I guarantee you there's probably a hell of a lot more.
Well, the thing is, if they found some like you said, there's at least dozens of the same thing that's gone just unnoticed by the 20-year-old investigator. Maybe if ABC picks up the story, they'll get the rest of them. But
these kids wrote it, and it was so over the top. Like ESPN had to give credit to the kids. Think about that. They had to give credit to the kids.
Well, am I wrong? Hasn't Florida? And again, I don't keep up with Florida basketball, but haven't they gone reasonably deep in like a lot of the previous March Madnesses?
They're
usually like an 8 seed,
Yeah,
right?
They won the Natty 2 years in a row. Well, that's been a while back, but
aren't they usually like an 8 seed or something like that? They usually get in.
They're consistently in the tournament. I think that's fair, right, Jackpot?
yeah, I mean they're I mean they're usually a tournament team or they're
Well, have they fired the guy yet?
No, he's coaching tomorrow night. It says.
Yeah.
No way they're going to let this blow over.
No, something came down from ESPN. It says Todd Golden will coach the team tomorrow, but he's going to get fired. I mean,
surely.
By the way, if I were a student at, I don't know, let's say this was a little bit later in the season and I were a student at whatever school, I would have pictures standing up behind the goalpost with, I saw your coach's junk on Instagram. There'd be shit like that, or just pictures of random things. Is this your junk, coach? I mean, I would troll the shit out of him.
No, you know how they hold the big heads up behind for the foul shots, like somebody's got like a Yoda or somebody has a Kevin James or something. The big head, just hold up a big cock. I mean,
the actual pictures got leaked.
Is this your cock?
Oh, I don't know that.
Imagine being that dude's wife. Holy shit. Surely he's probably married if he's an SEC coach.
Probably.
I just think it's funny that the kids put him out. That's the best part. These kids had the balls to be like, yeah, we're going to tell this multimillionaire guy, no, you shouldn't send your dick pics out, sir. No. I thought
surely they just guaranteed
to take all his money and
surely
they don't even have degrees yet. They haven't even finished school, and they're writing. They literally wrote it for. It's called the Alligator, which is like the independent newspaper down there in Florida.
They're the age of this. These could be two Gamecock sporties.
Well, and here's the real question: how do we know if it? How do we know that it wasn't just that egregious and it hasn't been talked about yet? And they didn't even have to do like any work.
How is it that the people who've been journalists down there for a long fucking time?
Surely, yeah.
How did that not happen?
Listen, if Shane Beamer was doing some shit like that, you'd know about it 2 days before he did it. All right? Let's just be honest. Everybody holds Shane Beamer. Granted, he's a football coach.
I think there's cover-ups everywhere. You don't think they would protect Shane Beamer down there?
I don't think so. Listen, I really don't think so. Dabo, I think they'd for sure protect Dabo. Shane Beamer, I don't know. A lot of times the beat writers hang Shane Beamer out to dry. If you watch the press conferences, they ask questions that a lot of college football coaches don't get asked. All right, and I'll just leave it at that as far as that goes. But I don't think they would protect Shane Beamer as much as you think.
Wait. You're saying that – what were you saying about questions at press conferences?
Yeah, I think he gets asked a lot of bullshit questions.
You don't think there's bullshit questions at every press conference?
I don't know. I don't watch other teams' press conferences. I'm assuming there's not, though. Is that not a fair assumption? I would assume that most press conferences aren't filled with bullshit questions.
No.
Well, I watched the Vandy one. It was pretty clean cut. Vandy does a good job at their press conferences.
Well, they don't allow chickens in their stadium, so they got some.
That was bullshit. All right, sir. Listen, I didn't address that. Justice for Sir Big Spur. All right, I fully support Shane Beamer calling that out because that's ridiculous. Vandy needs to do better. Listen, they will allow an obese woman who eats pizza out of a stadium floor puddle into the stadium before they'll allow Sir Big Spur. That makes 0 sense. All right. The stadium's already a piece of shit. You think like what are we worried about here? You think Sir Big Spur's going to fuck the stadium up somehow? I mean, you literally play at a fucking White Knolls
I
Stadium.
think it's a lot.
It has to have something to do with. It has to have something to do with they're scared that something will end up happening to one of the mascots, and due to the play on the field, running out of bounds, whatnot, running over the chicken or the bulldog or whatever, and that they'll be held liable for damages.
It's a liability thing, Crackpot. They're afraid that someone will cook your mascot, and then they'll have to pay for it. We got to get a fucking another rooster in here because we cooked that one for chicken tenders at the half. Sorry.
This is coming straight from the mouth of the guy who supports the meth tiger that takes the field every single time Clemson plays a football game. Your tiger has eyes that point different directions, Rob.
Like shit, so go ahead.
They point different directions.
Doesn't matter.
This motherfucker is a meth tiger. It looks like what do they call the LSU tiger? Mike the Tiger? It's like if Mike the Tiger went on a heroin bender and was homeless for 3 years.
Sir, I will not sit here and let you defile the name of Mike the Tiger. Okay? He looks much worse than Mike the Tiger could ever look. I've said that on the program.
Why have y'all not fixed that? Just being honest.
I don't know.
It's fucking weird, dude.
We should have a tiger mascot. I have a full fucking live tiger that sits right there.
Well, out of all the tiger mascots, y'all's are the most hillbilly, fucking shitty looking tiger in
You're
college
exactly
football.
right. But at least
it's on brand. I mean, what do you think?
That's what I'm saying.
How many chicken nuggets you think we could get out of Sir Big Spur? I'm saying at least 12.
Aren't tigers endangered? There's plenty of chickens around. Aren't tigers endangered?
But Jaden has my jacket.
Yeah.
Is that your son? Take that kid to the Golden Gate. Take him to the Golden Gate.
It's my daughter, dude. And she ain't gonna hear your bullshit.
Take her to the Golden Gate. You better take her too.
I ain't taking her to the Golden Gate. She doesn't want to go to the Golden Gate Bridge.
You're gonna leave her home? That's brutal.
No,
that's brutal.
She's going to study to be a lawyer. She's going to be an attorney, and then she'll be able to get jackpot out of parking tickets and shit.
I did have a question. I know Vandy's a private school, but what do they actually specialize in? Are they like a law school, medical? What the hell do they do?
I think they have a medical program. Evidently, they
got a hospital there.
And I will say this: as shitty as their stadium was, I don't know if you had a chance to walk around the campus, Kale. It's actually a pretty nice little campus. And if you drove by Belmont College, I don't know if y'all ever heard of that. I'm sure Kale saw it.
We lost to them in basketball.
Did you really?
Yeah, at one point, if I remember right.
Well, they have some of the craziest.
Y'all beat them and you stormed the court.
Oh, well, who did we lose to them? But we lost to some shitty team in basketball.
Moorhead State.
Moorhead. We lost to
Moorhead. I remember I was there. You know the Moorhead State bus bottomed out right there on that fucking Tiger Boulevard. They stayed at that you know Clemson, right? Surely, Rob. You know that hotel that's right over there, right before you get to the river, or not the river, but the lake. You go over that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed right over there. Their bus bottomed out. It was stuck there all fucking day. I thought about betting Clemson just because and that spread was Clemson minus like 20. I know we're beating up old things, but I don't know how y'all lost that game.
Look, we got to talk about this before we get out of here. I know Jackpot's ready to go, but did you see I posted about it on the Rob and Kale Facebook page where there was the Auburn football players or Auburn basketball players were fighting on the plane and they had to turn the plane around.
Yeah, I had to turn it around midair. It's like the plane ride from hell from the WWE day.
Yep, I saw that.
I mean, that's a crazy fucking story. And then I heard they gave what the pilot said. You know.
Well, did they discipline any of the players in that?
I mean, if you're fighting to the point where the pilot said
it's coming,
were ripped and
Bruce Pearl's their coach. I mean,
yeah, it's not like Bruce Pearl gives a shit. It's like, does that kid rebound for us? No, fuck, he can run the stairs. He doesn't get to come to the cookout.
I know y'all ready to get off, so let me give a final calling. All right, if you'll oblige me, Rob and Kale. But
I had a question for you. Are you picking the Gamecocks to win this week?
that's it. Well, listen. Here's the thing with that. All
It
right,
should be really simple, man.
I'm picking Gamecocks to win.
Yeah, we're winning or no, we're not.
No, here's what I'm going to say. I'm picking the Gamecocks to win either way. I think if Brady Cook plays, it'll be a reasonably close game. I think if that other jackoff plays, it's going to look a lot like this Vandy game. All right. I mean, I watched some of that Oklahoma game. Oklahoma deserved to win that game. I think they had the lead when Kale was talking about they had that strip sack. I mean, they look shitty. Oklahoma really deserved to win that.
Well, I don't know if you saw the post-game presser, the little comment Drink made.
No, what did he say?
He made the comment that
if you want, I think I got it where I can play it. Hold on.
Yeah, let's play this. Let's see what
play
this
that.
dumbass.
Hold on, I'll play it for you really quick. I'll send it here. Give me a second. It takes me a second, but I'll get it to you. Hold on. Let's see if I got it here because Jackpot sent it to me. Hold on.
Well, why he's sending that, Vandy? Listen, Nashville. Like Kale said, you get in, you get out. There's no game day traffic. I mean, Kale will attest to this. I think it was at least 50% Carolina fans at that game. That whole side Kale was on was Gamecock Central, apart from the student section, because everybody had left with 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And
Yeah, they got out of there. I mean,
yeah, the only thing that was left was Gamecock fans, and your whole section was filled up, Kale. I don't know what my section looked like over at the other half, but I mean, it was at least. And I was, what'd you say? Bleachers? Yeah, I bet it. But I mean, it was. I think safe to assume at least 50% Carolina fans. So, I mean, take that with what you will. They're definitely who drove up the prices though to $200. That's for damn sure.
I mean, are y'all really running your mouths about like trying to one up Vandy fans? Come on, man.
They're a ranked team, Rob. They were a ranked team. I don't want to hear this.
Okay.
They were ranked. And here's another thing, Tavia.
Are they ranked now?
Oh, hell no, we beat the tar out of them. Come on now. That's the game.
Florida State was ranked at the beginning of the season.
If they could somehow manage to knock off Tennessee or LSU, they'd be back ranked again.
Yeah, Vandy has a brutal end to their schedule, don't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not. I mean,
hold on, I got.
You got the video? Rob, you're lagging a little bit.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up now.
I think they could beat
LSU.
LSU.
I don't know what's going on. Let's see.
I think they got a better chance at beating LSU than yeah. I mean, LSU, they're not really playing for much anymore.
No, well, it's a road game for them.
All right.
Well, and you know they're going to be blaring that shit until there's 10 seconds left on the play clock on third down. That fucking shitty ass rap music, whatever the hell they were playing. I don't even know what it was. It was terrible.
Let's see what Drink has to say here about the win.
All right, here we go. This is Coach Drink. Here we go. It looks like.
Here, you're lagging a little bit, Rob.
Oh, did it come through? Did you guys see it?
No, let me see if I can.
All right, let's try it again.
Hey, can I share screen? I'll pull it up.
You guys see it? You guys see? No, I've got it right here. Can you see it? Jackpot, you see
yeah,
it
but it was lagging a little bit.
Let me try one more time. Here we go. Let's try it one more time. Let's try it again. Here we go.
This will be real disappointing to Bob Stoops, but OU doesn't always whip Missouri's ass anymore. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's so proud of himself over that win. Do you see him?
That's what I'm saying.
Do you see his face?
He's a clown, too. He's a fucking clown.
Gosh. Did you see it? This motherfucker is looking like he just knocked off the fucking #1 Oregon. He should have lost that game.
He's very lucky. He's very lucky.
All the shit you give Shane Beamer, Rob, you are.
Wait. I said this week is the Clown Bowl. Clown A and Clown B.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying something.
A clown guaranteed to win this weekend.
I'm saying something different.
Depends on which
For all
one.
the shit you give Shane Beamer, you have to agree he would not come in post game after barely beating that Oklahoma team and look like that. He would be pissed off. He wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't. He would
Yes,
talk
he
about
would.
you need to find your. He's already got record of you should find your door. We celebrate winning here. Jacksonville State's a perfect
All you
example.
gotta do is look at Old Dominion.
In here.
All you gotta do is look at Old Dominion. He was not satisfied with Old Dominion.
Just stop it. Just stop it. I know you have to suck his penis. But we don't have to watch it.
No. Hey, can I get a ending soliloquy real quick, if y'all don't mind?
Yeah, get on some here.
All right.
Someone's got to go to bed.
Vandy, absolute fucking dump. All right, you were never gonna win. San Diego Pavia, he's a good player. They need to put him out on kickoff return. He's all they got. I mean, Vandy, you might want to just consider dissolving your football team. It's terrible. Another thing, Tennessee, I went and visited you today. I've seen a lot of Tennessee fans talking about Williams-Brice being a dump. I don't think I've seen an uglier fucking stadium than Tennessee. It's a hollowed out, rusty piece of shit stadium by the river that smells like ass.
Oh, is it rusty?
It's rusty as shit. Did you not see them pictures I sent you, Kale?
Yeah.
You need to go look at those again. It's nothing but
zoom in on it.
It's hollowed out, rusty steel beams. It's the ugliest exterior you've ever seen in a college football stadium.
Well, man, I thought they'd upgraded a little bit, but maybe.
And that's and I'll give Clemson, man, their flowers too. Clemson Stadium has a nice exterior. Williams-Brice has a nice exterior. Neyland Stadium looks like a fucking rail yard. It's a piece of shit. This stadium is fucking terrible. And y'all talk shit about Williams-Brice. I thought I was going to walk in and see a fucking NFL quality
You thought it was
stadium.
going to be a cathedral, didn't you?
I thought so. I walk in. You can see straight through the gantry. It's nothing but rusty beams. It's terrible. These guys need to never open their mouth about Williams-Brice. Go Gamecocks, all right? We're coming for you, Missouri. Eli Drinkwitz, you're a fucking nerd. Go Gamecocks, baby.
Thanks, Peckerhead. All right, well, you got anything else to add to the show this evening?
I do not. I don't think I could add anything to that.
Good night. We'll see you later.
All right, guys.